lights are bright. The humidity is scorching people outside. I guess a lot of sweat. And it's time for Delmarva Sports Insider on a nice Friday night in July.
That's exactly right. Welcome to the only live and local sports show giving you all you need to know about sports here on the Eastern Shore. Guys, we are in the dead middle of the summer.
And that means we got some baseball, and then a little sprinkle of basketball too coming, and some football coming in, but mainly baseball to lead things off.
Right, Jeff Harris there on the far side, Trayvon Miles, our sports director, local legend Ryan Eldridge, and not too far Jonah Restuccio. We'll talk about that in a minute anyway with Jonah. It's the dog days of summer, as Jeff said. Baseball, right, a prevailing theme. The weather heating up here on the lower shore.
Exactly right. Despite the plus 90-plus degree temperatures, 47 ABC Sports making their way over to some Legion baseball. Worcester County OC Marlins hosting Dorchester County. The Marlins, Ryan Duncan dealing it up, 3 down to start the game off for number 18. And you want to see some good editing, guys, at the plate, number 18 supporting himself, giving himself some run support with the bases loaded, a fielder's choice, going to score Blake Marshall from third.
Then a bit later on, the pitch gets behind the catcher here. Ashton Snellsire able to come on in from the corner and then heads up base running here from Tristan McDonough. Takes 2 bags, sliding in to make it a 4-0 lead. Chris Bauman would add some insurance after that. RBI double scores Duncan. Marlins hold off a late Dorchester run, 7-5 the final.
All right, as for those Legion ball standings, here's what we got so far, guys. Got to give a shout out to the great Dave Ensley, who posted these. Worcester OC Marlins leading the pack at 7-1. Dorchester right behind them at 7-2-1. The Blue Sox of Wicomico struggling at 3-6, and they also have a tie as well. And Somerset bringing in the rear. Up north, though, Talbot and Caroline only a game apart. The top 2 of these in each division will qualify in a couple weeks for the playoffs, so it's going to be pretty interesting.
Yeah, it looks like Worcester is the team to beat. That's what I think we're alluding to here. I mean, anyone threatening them for the Legion title? I guess Dorchester.
We saw it. I mean, look, it doesn't really look like, it doesn't really look too competitive as far as what Worcester's doing. I felt like the first game that it didn't look like that, or the first couple of weeks, but these guys have been established, and they're like the Decatur guys out there, so they kind of got a rapport playing with each other, and this is what it's turning into.
Yeah, I mean, just quickly, Snellsires plus Tristan McDonough, you have them both at the plate, then on the mound. Really hard to beat. That's why they only have 1 loss. But that's only the first bit of baseball we have. We also have some Shorebirds, and for that, let's send it over to Jonah.
Yeah, that's right. Another team that just keeps on winning, the Delmarva Shorebirds. The Birds kicked off their July 4th weekend, welcoming in over 7,500 fans into Purdue Stadium for the first game of the Governor's Cup. They are, of course, hosting the Hagerstown Suns in their annual post-July All-Star Break Series. Bottom of the first, Caden Grenier with the RBI to score Robert Newstrom. He gets in for the first run of the game. And then in the second inning, Newstrom with the chance to drive in a couple runs of his own. He rips one to right field. That brings in Cody Roberts and Nick Horvath. So Delmarva takes a 3-0 lead. Suns would get a few back in the top half of the third. Adam Hall with a diving stop. Not quick enough to get the out, so an RBI single for Drew Mendoza. Now it's 3-1. So next batter up, Jacob Rhinesmith, a dribbler back to Hector Guantz, mishandles it, and that allows the batter to reach base and Cody Wilson to score. So now 3-2, and in the 9th, Suns with 2 on, they're threatening. 2 strikes, Matt De La Rosa gets Jackson Clough swinging to end it. The Shorebirds hang on 3-2. And with their win tonight against the Suns, they clinched their 2nd straight Governor's Cup. And a big reason why the Shorebirds have had so much success has been because of their pitching staff, specifically 2 teenagers raising some eyebrows. 47 ABC's Brendan Bossert has more on the Birds' dynamic duo.
For the Delmarva Shorebirds, a team with more All-Stars this year than anyone else in the Sally League, it's 2 teenage pitchers with microscopic ERAs that are standing out and giving hope for Orioles fans in the future.
Those 2 young guns, I guess I'll call them, they're unbelievable.
They're going to make the big show.
Grayson Rodriguez and Drew Rahm, 2 top draft picks by the Orioles last year, have been dominating A-ball hitters despite being 3 years younger than the league average. The lefty Rahm struck out 116 batters in 60 innings his senior year of high school, but says the switch to the pros was a challenge for him, and he was forced to develop his off-speed offerings.
If you are able to mix 90 with a bunch of off-speed and be able to
locate it where you want, then you'll be successful.
Rahm's fastball sits in the upper 80s to low 90s, but what sets him apart is his command and feel for his splitter and slider. And to add to his arsenal, he tells us he's been working on his curveball. Grayson Rodriguez, Rahm's roommate on the road, was out of town Friday to participate in the Futures game, a first for the Shorebirds since 2014. Since last June, Rodriguez has posted a sub-2 ERA, proving the Orioles were right to take him number 11 overall.
Grayson throws the ball so effortlessly. It seems like it's a curveball, but it's a 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
With a 6'5", 220 frame and 4 pitches he can spot for strikes, Rodriguez has been a nightmare for opposing batters. Just ask utility man Ryan Ogren, who was traded to Delmarva this April.
Yeah, actually my old teammates in West Virginia, they couldn't believe that Grayson's changeup was a changeup. It moved so much they thought it was a curveball, and they're like, no, it's a changeup.
The Orioles have been investing more in analytics this year, using data like spin rate and exit velocity to try to outsmart opponents. Rahm says this new approach has made a big difference for Delmarva.
We actually get a report on like what pitch we throw and what counts, and then try to mix up our tendencies so everything's just not so concrete. And last year was just a bunch of go out there, just throw the catcher calls basically.
And success is being seen throughout the staff. The Shorebird staff leads the league in runs per game, hits allowed, home runs allowed, and more. And of course, Shorebirds fans hope that the Orioles keep this dynamic duo here in Salisbury until the end of the season to hopefully bring Delmarva its first championship in the Sally League since the year 2000. Reporting in Salisbury, Brandon Bossert, 47 ABC.
Quite the story there. And before we go to break, we've heard about the pitching. That's what that story was all about. But is there another underlying success for this team? And first-year manager Kyle Moore, what do you think?
Yeah, to me, it's a new manager. You know, no shade to Ryan Miner and the other guys that they've had around. But when you get a young manager in his first couple of years wanting to prove himself, really kind of gave this team an edge.
Yeah.
You know, and getting some new blood in there. Not to mention they have some pretty good players as well.
Yeah, and they also have players that played on the team last year. They had a good first half. Unfortunately, the second half really fell off. You had someone tonight, Nick Vespi, 7 strikeouts, 5 full innings, no runs given up, played on the Shorebirds last year. So some of that tenure,
Veterans,
a little bit,
exactly.
going to help some of the younger guys, and you see it. Now they have 60 wins. So obviously something chemistry is building.
Exactly right. We like what we're seeing with the Delmarva Shorebirds, hoping for a championship. That's going to do it for the A Block. Coming up, some Summer League basketball up north, down south. Who's hooping? We are, of course. More Delmarva Sports Insider when we return.
My name is Lexi Black. I play softball for Stephen Decatur High School, and you're watching Delmarva Sports Insider.